if Baylor's a true test for the Sun Devils and Montana Moore and Xavier Alford didn't practice, it's like taking the SAT without your number 2 pencil.
And welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show presented by Brandon Bills. Make sure you head to Brandon Bills and use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. Of course, that's BrandonBills.com. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by Senior Complaint, Erik. We got the Deli Man behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. Jeff, Johnny, and M here in the chat to start the show. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Arizona State hitting the practice field for the first time this week ahead of Big 12 play. Sawyer Robertson and the high-flying Baylor Bears offense is on the menu for this Arizona State team, looking to start off strong, something that they struggled to do in 2024 when it comes to conference play, specifically that first game of the year on the road against Texas Tech. We know that there were some issues, the stomach bug going around with the team because of some of that food in Lubbock. But new year, new test. Same quarterback, though, for the Baylor Bears, and Sawyer Robertson leading one of the best passing offenses in the nation.
Yeah, I heard there's better food in Waco.
I hope so.
I
hope
so
there's
too.
something better in Waco.
Whatever's in the water in Waco needs to be tested as well, because Sawyer Robertson has just been that dude.
He's been that dude
for them, and he's been given the reins to be that dude. They are letting him throw the ball. Number 2 in the country in attempts and yards. I mean, this is not only the best test that you have faced all season, of course, when it comes to a high-powered, high-octane, aerial attack offense, might end up being the best that you play all season.
It could be.
And that's including, Baron Moore at Texas Tech, who's put up insane numbers. That's including Rocco Beck at Iowa State, who's put up insane numbers. That includes Josh Hoover, who many consider to be an NFL caliber quarterback as well. This still might end up being the best quarterback that the Sun Devils face the whole season. And, luckily they had a better performance against Texas State, but still not to the level that it's like, okay, we're going to shut down Sawyer and the Bears, which, A, great band name. B, I don't know if that's even possible. I think you could play great defense. I think your secondary could play amazing. And I don't know if there's any way that you realistically shut down this Baylor offense.
I think that's something that we obviously can discuss here with the next hour of like how you maybe don't shut it down, but how you slow it down. But before that, I mean, again, just giving flowers to an offense at Baylor right now that in like comparison to Arizona State, Sawyer Robertson is 2 completions shy of having as many completions as Sam Levitt does attempts on the season. Right now, Sam Levitt, 50 of 86, 5 touchdowns, 3 INTs for 527 yards through the air. A little bit of meat left on the bone for Sam Levitt. He knows that. Marcus Arroyo, Kenny Dillingham know that. Excited to see, obviously, what he does this week against Baylor. But Sawyer just about doubling him up everywhere across the board in terms of near completions to attempts to literally 10 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards already. Heading into conference play in the same amount of games, right? So we know that this is an offense that loves to air it out. They love to throw it around the yard. They believe that the talent they have at wide receiver, the talent they have specifically on the offensive line as well, being able to give Sawyer some extra time is what really makes Dave Aranda so confident in Sawyer Robertson's right arm is they feel like they have the talent around him to realistically be able to have one of the best offenses in the nation. They obviously are going to get a lot of love for what they do through the air, but Bryson Washington, the leading rusher in the conference as it stands right now with 304 yards on the ground. So this is an offense that can really do it all. It's going to be tough to make them one-dimensional. There hasn't been a team that's been able to do it thus far. But something we talked about a little bit on yesterday's show, to Shane's credit, was the pass rush for Arizona State. And Erik, I think if you're going to try and slow down this Baylor offense, specifically as it relates to Sawyer Robertson, like, you have to be able to really, really make Sawyer uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely do, because also if you're getting to the quarterback and, you're pressuring the running back in Bryson Washington as well, and not giving him a lot of room to get himself going, like, you then make the offense one-dimensional.
Yeah.
I think the most dangerous thing about Baylor is that they are not a one-dimensional offense. You look at the throwing numbers, you look at the passing numbers, and a lot of times for teams, that leads to being a one-dimensional offense.
Yeah.
They're not. They're not even one-dimensional in their passing game. I believe they've had 3 receivers go over 100 yards in a single game. 2 of them happening in one game with Josh Cameron and Ashton Hawkins against SMU in probably the best Big 12 win of the season.
Yeah.
Beating number 17 SMU in double overtime, right? But if you're able to get to Sawyer and make him at least relatively uncomfortable, make him get the ball out quickly, not let him make, sound decisions, but just quick ones, and hopefully eliminate the running game as well, are you going to shut them down? No. But is that your most realistic way to make them uncomfortable? Yes.
Absolutely.
And the way that ASU wins this game is to make Baylor's offense uncomfortable, and then to match them on offense, and for Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson, Raleek Brown and company to go out there and you got to play ball with these guys. Like, they're going to score points.
Yeah, it's what
right?
they do.
But you couple big plays, couple big sacks, maybe a forced fumble, maybe an interception could be the difference in this game, right? It could end up being in the 40s, and one big play on defense, one huge sack from a Clayton Smith, one huge thick 6 from CJ Fight, right? Those might be the plays that end up determining if ASU starts Big 12 play 1-0 or 0-1.
I think, again, and I think there's going to be a lot of folks that when they see on paper what Sawyer does and what this Baylor offense does kind of as a unit, they're going to put a lot of the pressure on the secondary, right? On Keith Abney, on Javen Robinson, on Ghost, on Boogie, if he sees time, any of the DBs that are going to be lining up for Arizona State. But if you go back to the one game that Baylor did indeed lose this season, that was to Auburn to open the year, Auburn had Sawyer Robertson running for his life. They had 4 sacks in that game. Ultimately, it was enough pressure to get the job done. That was too much pressure for Sawyer and that Baylor offense. You go to that win against SMU, a game that SMU had some control over in the first half specifically. That was the half that SMU had their single sack of the game. They didn't get to Sawyer Robertson in the back half of that game. We know Baylor and company, obviously, Sawyer Robertson and company took care of business to finish that one out in overtime. So I would expect and anticipate for all of you that don't love the Brian Ward blitzing on specific downs, I'm going to advise you that maybe when it's 3rd or 4th down this week, maybe just turn the TV off or go up to the other room. I would expect, just based off of, again, the comfort level with Sawyer, what Brian Ward likes to do, like his philosophy, the chaos, the simulated pressure. If they're not going to actually create pressure, they're going to show it. They're going to keep Sawyer Robertson on his toes. They got to make him think that pressure is coming at all times. And then sometimes actually mix it in there, because based off of what we've seen so far this season from Baylor and Dave Aranda and that offense, if you want to beat them, you have to get to Sawyer. Not just make him uncomfy. You got to bring him down.
Yeah, you do. The one loss for Baylor this season, right? This is at home against Auburn. You know how many yards Sawyer Robertson had in game 1?
I do. A lot.
419 yards. Shane, how many times do you think Sawyer Robertson threw the ball in game 1?
48.
48 times. How many passes did he complete?
Wait, did he actually throw it 48?
He threw 48 on the dot.
41.
He completed 27.
That would have been crazy.
27 of 48 for 419 yards and 3 touchdowns. You can make Sawyer Robertson play an uncomfortable game, and he can still hang 400 on your head. Baylor's offense only put up 24. You want to know how many rushing yards they had week 1?
Just 64.
Yeah. And their leader, Bryson Washington, who I said Bryson because I was thinking of Bryson Long.
It's Bryson.
Oh, is it Bryson?
Yeah,
okay,
Bryson.
I have Bryson Long on the mind, man.
Just some ASU hoops sickos.
Yeah, you know how it is. JJ, what's up? 54 yards, their leading rusher against Auburn. They made Baylor a one-dimensional offense. They made Sawyer throw the ball 48 times. It was uncomfortable to the point that he only completed 27. Still had 3 touchdowns, but only 27. And then they had to match the offense. Baylor put up 24. Auburn put up 38.
Yeah.
But guess what? Jackson Arnold only threw the ball 17 times for Auburn. 11 of 17 for 108 passing yards. He was also their leading rusher with 137 rushing yards, 16 carries, and 2 touchdowns. You make Sawyer uncomfortable, and you have a running quarterback, is what we've seen be a proven recipe for success at least one time against this Baylor team this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you really have out there to go off of, right, is really what Auburn did to suffocate that Baylor offense, especially in the second half of that game. And I think, in all honesty, and I know Baylor is the favorite here, and this feels almost like me just simplifying it, which obviously it's much more of a challenge and more difficult to do this to a degree than what I'm actually saying. But like, it feels like the blueprint is out there for ASU to win this football game.
Sure.
of forcing Sawyer to be uncomfy, which again sounds easier than it is in reality, especially with a quarterback of his pedigree. But getting there and then running the football for ASU on offense. And I don't want to talk too much about the ASU offense. It's something we'll do tomorrow. But like, it's out there for them to just minimize the possessions in this game, right? Especially if you're able to get to a lead. And we've seen how effective Raleek Brown and Kanye Udoh, potentially the return of Kyson Brown as well this week, how effective those backs can be in just shortening the game. I know they didn't win the game, but you go back to that Mississippi State, specifically the second half, that 10-minute drive in the fourth quarter, right? Really, really shrinking the opportunities for Mississippi State down the stretch. We know how it went down, but like, if you're able to do that against Baylor with a little bit of a lead in this game, we know that Sam's a dynamic quarterback when it comes to being able to run and throw the football. Like, in recent weeks, we've talked about a balance. I think this week, I want to see more of a ground game. I want to see, like, let's not just throw it all over the yard and let's play shootout ball, right? There's no need for this to be a 50-50.
Don't play on
game.
their turf.
No,
you got it.
They have to act like, if I'm Kenny Dillingham in this Arizona State team, I love what I've seen from the pass rush this far, like so far this season. I'm bringing extra guys. Like, I'm comfortable with that. We got a veteran secondary. Like, that's fine by me. Yes, Sawyer's successful, but he's a relatively young quarterback in the grand scheme of things. Like, he's opening up conference play now at his house. Like, get to him, and when you have the opportunity to possess the football, run the ball. 70-30. Like, I'm throwing in an extra tight end in there. We're in 12, 13 personnel. I know we're getting Jalen Moss back. We'll use him, from time to time. But I want to see how physical this Baylor team is. You got to play our brand of football.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the way they win this game.
Well, especially because you're playing on the road.
Yeah.
Too.
Take the crowd out of it.
Take the crowd out of it. And the one thing that Baylor's offense is going to do is that when they're on the field, they're going to create opportunities for themselves.
Yeah.
4 touchdowns for Baylor in week 2, 3 touchdowns in week 1. Now, in week 3, Sawyer had 3 touchdowns. He also threw 2 interceptions against Samford. So you're creating opportunity for big plays. You're creating opportunity for scoring plays in the way that Baylor, orchestrates their offense. You're also creating opportunity for turnovers.
Yeah.
Right.
Which we know this defense needs.
Well, and they need, and it's kind of their calling card from last season, and they haven't really made that their calling card this year.
Yeah.
Right. And you're able to keep a couple big plays in there. Sawyer's not like Rocco Becht is a great quarterback and Sawyer Robertson are great quarterbacks, but they're 2 completely different quarterbacks. Rocco Becht's the kind of guy that'll be like 21 of 25. For 275 yards.
Rocco's a very efficient quarterback.
Right. Sawyer is 35 for 50, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
He's a volume passer.
Right. He's a volume passer. And if you give him A, less of a chance to create that volume, and B, take advantage when they take some risks and some deep shots and win some of these 50-50 balls, like, yeah, the recipe for success is there. Like, Baylor is not a juggernaut. Baylor is not an unbeatable team. That being said, I think they are completely deserving favorites. especially at home.
I think
Baylor
that's fair.
has been a better football team than ASU this year. Baylor should be and is higher in Big 12 power rankings for pretty much everybody, right? They should be favored. Sawyer's had a better season than Sam Leavitt, right? Like they have very talented offensive players, not just, they've got like ASU has the best wide receiver in this game. They have Jordan Tyson.
ASU has the best player in this game.
Correct.
Point blank period.
In Jordan Tyson.
Yeah.
That being said, the depth in the wide receiver room from Baylor is kind of what we expected from Arizona State this year, but we haven't seen actualized, right? They're having multiple players step up and get 100-yard games, and even beyond that, talking about guys in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s in a couple of games. Like, they're really spreading the rock out. Like, does Sawyer have his favorites? For sure.
Yeah.
But they have a balanced passing attack, right? You play, soft coverage, or you play back against ASU and you focus on stopping their passing game. Realistically speaking, you're looking at Jordan Tyson and Jordan Tyson alone. That's what makes Shimon Mateer dangerous. That's what makes everybody else dangerous. Sun Devils haven't actualized that through 3 games this season. They did a little bit more against Texas State than they had in weeks before, right? But Baylor has the balance. Baylor has the talent, but they're not, Goliath.
No, absolutely.
They're not like this team that you go and you see ASU's defense and you say, oh, well, they can't match that. You see ASU's offense and say, oh, they can't match that. Like, it is certainly on the table that Arizona State can not only win, but win a pretty thorough game. It's also on the table that Sawyer Robertson puts up 500 yards and Baylor walks away putting up 40.
I mean, it's certainly a possibility. I don't see that happening. There's so much to still discuss. I want to get the chances question and so much more about this Baylor offense going up against this ASU defense on the other side of our first break. Look, whether you are making the trip to Waco or you're getting ready for the next big Arizona State Sun Devil tailgate, if you're looking for merch, well, look no further than Rally House. They're the go-to spot to shop for all of your favorite local Arizona team gear with tens of thousands of products to shop from. Whether you're looking for Arizona State Sun Devil merch, Arizona Cardinals, Arizona Diamondbacks, Mercury, it doesn't matter. Rally House, the go-to spot. One of my favorite things about Rally House is the fact that it really doesn't matter where you live here in the Valley. They got locations all over Tempe, Mesa, Glendale. Highly recommend you check them out. Maybe even before you go in store, you go check out what they got online, because it is an extensive catalog of merch for your favorite Valley sports teams. Make sure you find your local Rally House location and shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com today.
There are a lot of great things about branded bills, but I want to go beyond just the comfort of it, beyond just the style of it. Let's talk about the personalization side of things. If you have a company, if you have a brand, if you have something that you want to represent, something that you want to promote beyond just, having your logo as your profile picture or telling your friends about it, but you want custom gear, Branded Bills has you covered to stand apart from the crowd. Not just snapbacks, but truckers, fitted beanies, and tees. They have you covered with performance and style. Of course, a very good example of this is the PHNX hats. We have 3 different Branded Bills hats. My personal favorite is our Phoenix hat. That, of course, all of those you can see on our store at gophnx.com. But I love wearing it. I love repping it. And not only does it look good, but it feels good. And I've got about 1,000 other Branded Bills hats that are in my rotation.
Literally
as well. And right now, you can head to brandedbills.com. Use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order.
Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and Ruby become a member on YouTube.
Just like Johnny Venerable.
Just like the one, the only Johnny Venerable.
Became an MVP. Now, of course, having access to such emojis of fame like the PHNX Forks Up, the Neon Cactus, the Alignment emoji, of course, the classic Phoenix
the alignment emoji man.
The Live, which is Johnny's own
emoji.
Own emoji. There's also a Johnny Chug.
Yeah, there's an actual Johnny emoji of Johnny chugging.
When are we getting?
It's back?
When are we getting?
It's back.
Like, I didn't know we actually made that.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
When are we making a Totri emoji?
I don't know if there would be a
Totri.
Is it just a tree of toes?
Emotri.
I think we already done that.
We already made a Totri.
No, I think
emoji?
We've already said emotri before.
Emotri?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe.
Okay.
We've been going for several years now.
Sorry.
And that's okay, man. I'm not. It's all good, man. See, look what you did, Shane.
It was stupid.
That was stupid.
No
Erik,
fighting.
Stupid.
Okay.
Stupid.
No fighting.
Sharon spamming a little PHNX Johnny Chug in the chat. Johnny Chug's a great name. Johnny Chug's a great
Johnny
band
Chug.
name.
What does Johnny Chug do? Johnny Chug guard. He plays guard.
I don't think we can talk about what Johnny Chug does.
Johnny Chug?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I think he's got an illicit website.
Oh no.
No, I was
Can
thinking
we subscribe to it?
It was a band.
I mean, you can.
I think it was a band name.
Johnny Chug?
I'm seeing Johnny Chug.
No, Johnny Chug is a football player.
Johnny Chug's either a football player or a guy that you would tell historical tales about from like the 1700s. That
there's like a song,
yeah, like
a little limerick about it.
Yeah, like the
Johnny Chug.
Johnny Chug.
Yeah.
Johnny Chug.
That was less of like a folk song and more of like a cartoon for like
hide from him.
Yeah,
under your rug.
We're hiding from Johnny Chug.
Johnny Chug.
Oh my goodness.
Johnny Chug. But you know where Johnny can't chug?
Waco,
because they don't have alcohol in Baylor Stadium, and unless that's fake news. And I got
You may have got right there.
I might have.
Yeah, you just did the podcast thing where
you just did the Totri thing. Where
is this real?
You read it and like you just take it for what it is.
Okay, fine. I'll do my research.
You do that.
Is there alcohol?
Chance had a question earlier saying if Arizona State wins this game, do they crack into the top 25?
Absolutely.
No,
you think so?
There's no alcohol.
I would be shocked. I think Baylor is getting a little gypped in terms of their votes because
only 6 votes.
Yeah. I
mean, they beat SMU.
Yeah, but I think
better win than Tech or Utah has this
sadly,
year.
I think we're realizing that SMU might stink.
Still,
poor Mustangs.
I think they won 28-13 against one of those fake schools like Missouri State or something like that.
Tarleton State.
Oh
wait, no,
Tarleton State's real.
Tarleton State beat Army, who beat Kansas State,
and they don't really have a defense.
Who, Baylor?
Both teams.
Yeah. Well, Baylor might as well have 11 traffic cones.
Yeah, I will say they did look pretty good against Auburn, even though they lost that game.
Looked pretty good against Samford.
I mean, they almost gave up 40 points in that game. So
yeah, they still look good.
Yeah,
I mean, Auburn wasn't really able to pass the ball that well.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I could say they look good when you give up nearly 40.
I said pretty good.
Pretty good, nearly good. I mean, good's not the word I use.
They were fine.
They were fine. They were fine.
They were fine against a good SEC team.
Yeah, they were fine. But like, I think at the end of the day, and again, we'll talk more about the offense tomorrow. Like, I think if they win this game, then I think there is certainly more of an argument, like a legitimate argument. For me, it's still so much more than like, do they win and are they a top 25 team? Now, I think just based off of the fact that they were ranked number 11 to start the year, if they win this game on the road, then yeah, I think they're going to be 24-25.
This is a road game against the top 30 team in the country.
And how they win too is also, I think, important. I think they should be ranked if they do win. I think they shouldn't have dropped down to 31 after last week. Also, like, depending on how Mississippi State continues to look, like
Mississippi State should be ranked before ASU should be ranked.
But Mississippi State has more votes than ASU. Now, granted,
rightfully so. Did you see what they did to Alcorn State last week?
I mean, yeah, it's Alcorn.
Doesn't matter.
Come on, that's a fake school.
It was still NAU's a fake school.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They should have won. They won 63-0.
NAU is a better football program than Alcorn State.
I don't think that's true. How are you looking at me like that? Like you know that
the Alcorn State Braves.
Just because Alcorn State sounds fake. He's like,
Alcorn State lost to Northwestern State, who got trounced 63-0 by Rip Sorsby.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Rip Sorsby, dog. Don't.
Hey.
Don't do that, Rip, man.
The bottom line is Mississippi State beat them so bad that they played 10-minute quarters in the second half.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what type of team is doing that.
The opposing coach had to agree to it.
Mississippi State, they play Northern Illinois this week, so it's like that's not going to be a huge test for them. Then they play Tennessee, and then they play Texas A&M, and then they play Florida, and then they play Texas, and it's like
Mississippi State should be ranked before ASU, especially if ASU wins this game. Because if ASU wins this game, then it helps Mississippi State's win the entire way. Now, of course,
can they both be ranked?
They can be. Notre Dame shouldn't be number 24, but like there's so much that goes into like if we're just saying like win and in, then yes, I think by the merit of the win, they should be in the top 25, regardless of how it goes down. With that said, because there is so much that changes on a weekly basis, teams playing other relevant teams, especially now that conference play has begun. Like looking at the 20 through 25, right? Like I think that's going to have a serious impact as to whether or not Mississippi State gets in, BYU gets in, ASU. Like there's still so much that goes into it. And we know the team's not focused so much on that. But like, I guess, long way to answer that question. Yes, they should.
Yeah, I mean, unless the game is so ugly and so bad and they back into a victory, it's like, okay, well, no team really looked good there.
Yeah.
Because this is a game that, hopefully some voters will watch considering it's 4:30 kick time instead of a 7:30 kick time.
Better watch it. It's the second best game in the conference this week.
Still, I mean, you never really know. By the way, good comment from Glenn. Says Johnny Chugg got kicked out of Alcorn State for making moonshine in his dorm.
Great comment.
I also like this comment from before that said, from Parker Allen, says Johnny Chuggs is a DH in the 80s. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. What
definitely
team?
The Reds, and he's juicing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, 100%. He started juicing.
He was the first.
He was the
first juicer.
First
Johnny Chuggs and Johnny Bench.
Johnny Chuggs juice.
Yeah. I mean, he retired and then started his own juice company.
Hey, can we get another supporter in here?
Yeah,
I'm sick of Sharon being the only one.
Well, don't be sick of Sharon.
That's kind
of. I'm not sick of Sharon. Sharon knows what I meant.
Glenn.
You're just picking.
Yeah. Glenn.
I choose you, buddy.
$5, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Glenn,
this is Rubus the beggar.
Glenn, if you're not a member by the end of the show, I'll be sad.
It's in the description.
Make it happen. Make it happen. The same way that this ASU defense needs to make it happen against this Baylor offense. I know we've talked about Sawyer. We've talked a little bit about Bryson. We'll talk, I think, a little bit more about him as the show moves on. But getting to who is making it happen for Sawyer. He's got a trio of wide receivers that are really running through the competition right now. Josh Cameron, 15 catches for 244 and 3 touchdowns, averaging 16 yards per catch. He is more their big body possession receiver, and even then, he's not the biggest guy in the world, 6'1", 224. With that said, the other two wideouts for Baylor, they're speedsters, the guys that get it done yards after the catch. It's Cole Wilson, who is a senior, got a $182 already through the air through 3 games, and then Ashton Hawkins, 257 in terms of receiving yards for the Baylor Bears. Pretty well spread out between the three, 17 catches, 15 catches, and 13 catches respectively for each of those 3 guys. This is an offense that it's not necessarily like, it's not the way that ASU's offense has been operating in the passing game, where it's like, hey, we got JT. There's nothing you could do to stop him. The ball's going to 0. Good luck. This is an offense in Baylor that if you give Sawyer enough time to go through his progressions, he will find any one of these guys. I mean, that's not even including his tight end that's been pretty effective as well this year. And that's how they've been able to beat some of these defenses and these secondaries, because at the end of the day, like a Sanford doesn't have enough guys in the secondary to match up with 2 speedsters, a tight end, the leading rusher in the conference, and then try and deal with a guy like Sawyer who, his first read's not to run, but he will if he needs to.
Yeah, you can die by 1,000 cuts, or you could die by 1 big cut from Baylor. That's when you say you have like a diverse offense and you have an explosive offense, you usually don't just have one punch. You're not like a one-trick pony.
No.
Right? And I think that's why a lot of ASU fans were frustrated with ASU's offense, because you look at this firepower that they have, and you say, well, why are we a one-trick pony? It's just Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, let's before we move off, it's a great trick. It's one of the best tricks in college football right now.
Probably the best trick.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a top 10 pick. Like,
sure.
I've seen something even as much as a top 5 pick.
Do you know why it's such
Jordan
a good
Tyson.
trick? Because you have Kenny.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm not.
No,
yeah,
no,
you know what I'm saying. Like,
because Kenny's a magician.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
People forget that Kenny knows how to do magic tricks.
Yeah, he does know how to do magic tricks.
Which
Didn't
is
do one for
horrifying.
us though.
Well, yeah, he did. He disappeared. Remember?
He did say, yeah. Forgot about that. Kenny, man,
and obviously,
witty guy.
Raleek is also in that conversation as well. Which you had the craziest stat.
The craziest stat that I tweeted this morning.
You tweeted this morning. That was one of those like wow.
So
moments.
Bryson Washington leads the Big 12 in rush yards with 304 rush yards right now. Raleek Brown is second in the conference with 292 yards on the ground. The biggest difference there is that Raleek has 31 fewer carries.
31
than Bryson does. Raleek right now, I believe, averaging about 8 yards per carry right now in the season.
31 fewer carries.
Yeah. It's ridiculous what he's been able to accomplish. And people forget that, like, or maybe they don't forget. Maybe it's just me like saying it, but like he had a massive screen called back, right? A 75-yard touchdown.
It would have been his first 75-yarder.
Called back because of a holding or a penalty. Like,
how many receiving yards does he have this year?
On the year, I want to say he's Arizona State's maybe second or third leading receiver at this point on the season.
I'm looking.
I could be totally speaking.
Shimon is second, 7 for 80. Last game was big. Kyson was 6 for 672. Raleek only 7 for 34 receiving right now. But obviously, you add 8 for 109 with that one called back play. That would be the second leading receiver.
Yeah. No. I mean, again, he's such a dynamic weapon. He's such a dynamic weapon in this offense. I think the more success he has, the more success Arizona State's offense is going to have in terms of getting other guys involved, if that makes sense. Simply because you're going to have defenses now worrying, right, and monitoring what Raleek Brown does. He's definitely the second weapon on this offense if you're not including the quarterback here, which we know Sam's legs are 100% a weapon each and every snap. So when defenses are going to be so hyper focused on JT and Leak, it is going to eventually allow the Jalen Mosses, the Kamari Andersons, the Jaron Hamiltons, the Shamans, the Derek Eusebios, more opportunity to get involved in this offense.
The Malik
McClain's, my bad. That's my fault, man. That is 100%.
We're already being mean to me today.
I was not being mean to you. He was being mean. Shane's in one of those mean moods today.
No, I'm not. I'm in a great mood.
I wouldn't say Shane's not in a mean mood, which made it so much more blindsiding.
It did. It was very targeted, man. I feel like you owe him an apology. Don't shut up me.
Yeah, I can be nasty to you too.
Yeah, well, I just don't tolerate that, man.
You're tolerating it.
I'm not tolerating it.
What are you gonna do about it?
You're not gonna tolerate it.
I'm not gonna tolerate it, man.
Well,
this
nana boo boo.
What do you say?
Nana boo boo.
Nana boo boo. You just nana boo booed me.
Wow.
Shane's he's in his toddler era right
now. I know. So I know today we're focused on the defense. I know we've dipped into the offense a little bit, and I think how could you not? The offense is so fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about that Baylor Buns defense tomorrow.
Yeah, I think with Arizona State's defense,
the Baylor Buns, you like that one?
Baylor Buns is good. The pass rush obviously is such a crucial and key important part to this, and for all the reasons we mentioned, making Sawyer uncomfortable, stopping the run game, Bryson Washington, you compare the yards per carry and whatnot to Raleek, but it's like this guy still leads the conference in rush yards, right? It's still impressive. It's just you look at Raleek, you're like, holy crap, how are you doing that? Doesn't mean the other guy's not good. But when you look at the secondary, and I know we talked about, big play and everything like that, there are no interceptions from the secondary so far this season, 3 weeks in. There's only one interception on the season. That's from Anthony Cooper in week 1.
There's an interception, and then there's a fumble, right? Those are the only 2 turnovers right now for this ASU defense. You had Keith force a fumble this past weekend.
I think it was Ghost forced. Fumble recovered. Ghost recovered the fumble, and then
Keith forced it.
Yeah. Oh, no, Kangaika forced a fumble, but I don't think we recovered it. X forced a fumble, and we recovered that one. It doesn't say that Keith had. That might be a statistical error.
I think it's a statistical error
because I don't remember X having one and recovering one.
Yeah, I don't think that happened. Right? I mean, are we?
Yeah.
Nothing. They didn't get a turnover in the second game of the year.
Xavier Alford didn't play football
last week. Yeah.
Kangaika has a force fumble.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Abney forced that fumble. Yeah. That's
It's ESPN, man.
It's ESPN. Yeah.
That's expected. That's what that is.
Oh wait, no, wait.
Who cares?
I mean, we're just getting the facts right. Okay, Shane.
We had the facts.
We're getting the facts.
I don't think we are. I think we're.
CJ Fight. CJ Fight next right next to each other. CJ Fight has a forced fumble and a fumble recovery, which I don't remember that.
That didn't happen, man.
But they do have
ESPN's
Keith's.
lying. They're making
They do have Keith's forced fumble. Keith also has a sack on the season.
He does. First sack.
But this secondary needs to create takeaways.
ESPN also showed Keith Abney on the sidelines when
they were talking about Kyson
Brown was injured.
Just bad, man.
Thanks, ESPN.
Bad stuff.
Yeah, but they need to, especially with the amount of opportunities that they're going to have, they need to create a takeaway. If they walk out of here, I would almost say that in order to win this game,
you gotta win.
You need to pick off Sawyer Robertson. At least once. He is.
I don't know if you need to pick him off. You just need to win the turnover battle in this game.
I think you need to win it convincing. Maybe 2. Like, they are going to give you so many opportunities, and a couple big plays are going to go their way. They just have enough talent to get there. They have enough wide receiver talent. They have Sawyer, and they have play calling that they're going to give themselves the opportunity to get big chunk plays. You're going to need to snatch that chain back at least once or twice. Whether it's, a couple PBUs to stop momentum or literally a pick, we got to see something from the secondary. Like, they are due. They're for sure
due. Yeah, they're
due.
definitely due. They're definitely due. Like, I think I think there's such an emphasis on the secondary, which, like, I get it. I understand why there's an emphasis on the secondary when you go up against a quarterback like this, but I still think so much more of the pressure is on that front four, getting to the quarterback. If they send extra pressure, send extra guys, like the pressure to be able to go make Sawyer uncomfortable, affect the timing of what Sawyer is doing offensively. It's a bad example because it's the NFL and it's such an elite player, but like Micah Parsons getting traded to the Green Bay Packers and then like him in a soundbite saying like, I've never not played with an all-pro corner or a Pro Bowl corner, right? Because the pressure that he forces is obviously creating such a massive impact, a beneficial impact on the guys behind him, right? They don't have to be in coverage as long. Quarterbacks aren't necessarily going to be as accurate if they're on the run or the timing's messed up. Like Clayton Smith, CJ Fight, Jacob Kangaika, if you get Zach Swanson back, Prince Dorba, Elijah O'Neal, all of these guys, Albert Smith, they are going to be the most impactful players for this Arizona State defense this week, which is, I think, a big statement considering that we saw Jordan Crook is coming off maybe the best game of his collegiate career as Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, where we, on the very back end of this defense, we were going into the year saying that Ghost and Javen and Keith are maybe some of the best DBs in this conference. And here I am week 4 saying, like if they want to win this game, it's going to be up to the guys up front to make Sawyer like just uncomfy is not even the right word. Just like move off schedule. Yeah.
Because of that, and because if we're looking at this defense, it's kind of flipped from last year where it's like last year, look at the defensive line and say, man, we wish we can get a little bit more from them.
Yeah.
Not that they're bad, but wish we can get a little bit more. This year, it's like, okay, the secondary, we need a little bit more from you. Almost because of that, that's why I'm looking at the secondary more, because I guess I have more faith that pass rush is going to do what we are saying they're going to do. And if Baylor and Sawyer Robertson, I almost said Baylor Robertson, is off schedule, and is making tough throws off of his back foot, trying to run the ball, trying to move, creating a little chaos. To me, that plays more into the point that I made right before, which is as a veteran, experienced, athletic secondary, not the fastest, but still athletic with a great nose for the football and great instincts, you need to take advantage of that because he's prone to just throw it.
Yeah.
He will make some ill-advised throws.
He gives his guys chances.
He gives his guys chances. And like I said, they'll probably get a couple lucky breaks. You need to capitalize on that too, especially if your defensive line is holding up their end of the bargain and making him uncomfortable and making him move and stopping the run game to where he feels like he's forced to throw even more, especially if they're playing from behind, which is something that Arizona State needs to not do on Saturday.
Yeah. Which they've struggled to do on the road.
And they haven't played from behind every game. This season they played from ahead against NAU, they played from ahead against Texas State. But getting off to like the fastest start has not been the calling card for this team.
Yeah.
And so if they can get off to a fast start, especially if they can put 7 up, like I love that you have a kicker that can kick it from 45 plus yards if you need it, especially to just start the game off.
You're going to win this game with touchdowns this week.
Yeah, you need to score touchdowns. You need to score touchdowns fast. And if they're already going to be a throw-first offense, if they start playing from behind and they feel like, okay, well, we can't just run the ball because it's not like Bryson Washington's tearing up for 8 yards of carry like Raleek. But he's still
very effective.
He's a quantity back, though, right?
He's like a bowling ball. He just bounces off tacklers.
He's a quantity guy. Not that he's not quality, but he's getting a ton of carries.
Yeah, I think he's got like 66 carries right now.
But if you're playing from behind, you're going to let Sawyer air it out even more. And if you're making him move and your defense knows what they're going to do, i.e. knows what they're going to do, like you got to take advantage of that. You need to put some pressure on it, and you need to create some turnovers.
Yeah, M says he's pretty mobile in the pocket, but doesn't run the ball much when referring to Sawyer. Yeah, which is almost more of a threat than a quarterback that's mobile and will just take off. Like we know what Sam is able to do with his legs and how that affects a defense. But you're almost limited to how many yards you're going to get, right? Like, and we've seen Sam break them for 50, 60-yard touchdowns, which is super, super valuable. But I think part of the reason that Sawyer's able to have, 400-yard passing game after 400-yard passing game is that mobility with also the football IQ of like, okay, I'm not gonna, like, he knows his strength's his arm, right? Yeah. Not his necessarily like his athleticism, but he's athletic enough to get out of the pocket and still make some of those throws, keeping his eyes downfield. And then we talked earlier about the wide receivers that he has that are, he's got a good balance of speed with possession.
Yeah.
So he allows those guys to create separation. And again, it's hard for DBs to be in coverage for that long if you don't have any pressure. So yeah, Sawyer will pick you apart if you give him that opportunity to do it. And I know that, like I started the show off saying, there are some folks that didn't love certain calls by Brian Ward to go send pressure. If it were me calling the defense this week, I'm sending pressure all the time. Not every play, but I'm sending pressure enough to make Sawyer think about it on every snap.
But I think it does get to the point where if he's somehow comfortable with that, like if he's taking advantage of that and it's not working, then you need to change, right? I think so. If you're sending pressure and you're giving up, okay, well, we're gonna just say, oh, we're gonna make him uncomfortable, but he's okay being uncomfortable and he's still able to, deliver in that situation, you might need to rethink that.
I mean, it depends.
But I think off the start, you're right.
It's either you send a bunch of guys, and usually if you're gonna blitz, I mean, you can play like a zone blitz, but you'll probably end up playing man here, right? If you're sending extra guys, depending on how many you're sending, which I'm more comfortable with for ASU because you have the veterans. Yeah. Yes, they've had moments where it's like, okay, they'll give up a big play, but you got to. We're in week 4.
I mean, you have great options.
100%
to send guys.
You not only have great options for that, but you have great guys in coverage. If I'm fine with Keith and Javen and these guys manned up, like that's totally fine for me. Or you could do, I think, a little bit what Sanford did, and I didn't watch the entirety of that game, but where we're not sending a ton of pressure. We are just having more guys in the secondary, thus making Sawyer have to work, right?
So the most interceptions he's thrown in the game all year.
Now, again, do you decide that you're going to do the same thing that Sanford did because it worked last week? Or do you try and change it up a little bit because we know that Baylor and Dave Aranda, they're not going to lose twice that same way?
Or was Sawyer more comfortable just saying F it because it's Sanford?
Because it's Sanford.
Yeah. And you're not going to get back on the other end. You play against Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson, Raleek Brown and company. You don't want to give that ball up. Maybe he won't make that decision. Just to kind of wrap up the point on the rushing yards and everything before we hit a break and wrap things up here. Sawyer Robertson this season has 12 yards on 13 carries. Now, granted, he's lost 36 sack yards on 6 sacks, but still, yeah, he's mobile in the pocket, and yeah, that can be dangerous because you could end up having a bigger boom or bust for a play. That being said, if you get pressure on him, you get hands on him, he's not doing what Sam Levitt does, or even like a halfway point of what Sam Levitt does.
Yeah.
You're taking him down, right? That is something to be said of you can commit a little bit more as a defensive line, or even if you're sending somebody, you can commit because if I'm going full force at you, you might be able to slip me one way or another, but there's no way in hell that you're going to do some of the escapes that we'll take Sam Levitt out of it because he's one of a kind in that. But that just mobile quarterbacks do in the traditional mobile quarterback sense.
Yeah.
To where you might dodge one of us or another one, but if there's another guy there, you're not running all the way around and picking up 5 yards on a scramble. I mean, this is a guy who, through 3 games, has had probably the most prolific offense in the Big 12, has thrown for over 1,000 yards, right? Clearly has the weapons around him. He's averaging less than a yard per carry on 13 carries.
Yeah.
Right? 13.
He's not a running quarterback.
No,
he's mobile,
but he's not
running.
A running quarterback. No. And that is maybe the only part of this offense that isn't dynamic. They have a run game. They have a pass game. Their blocking is pretty good. I'm not sure exactly how well they're going to use their tight ends. I know they have one in Michael Trigg, also a great name, has over 100 yards on the season, but he's the only tight end who has caught a ball this year. Obviously, he's pretty good at it. But, it's the only thing that you can look at and say, what are you not dynamic in? And it's having a running quarterback, or at least a running threat.
And we know for the Arizona State offense that it almost feels like the opposite, right?
That's one of your key components.
If not the most complete components not named Jordan Tyson, right, on this offense.
I mean, we saw what that does and the type of plays that Sam can make doing that as well. Not just running, but passing as well, and how hard it is for a defensive line to contain him and hold him down. So it'll be interesting, and we'll continue to talk about how interesting it is right after our final break.
Look, of course, you got a great slate of college football games this weekend with conference play starting. You've got another great batch of NFL games this Sunday. So what am I going to be doing before the pregame and postgame show? Well, I'm going to be dabbling with our friends over at Pure Edibles, because for me, I mean, if you want to intensify and make a sporting event 10 times better than it already is, well, try Pure Edibles. Goes without saying that Pure Edibles, it tastes like candy. I know my biggest gripe with some edible companies is the fact that it just sometimes it just tastes like weed, and I'm not about that. I need it to taste like candy, and that's exactly what Pure Edibles gummies taste like. Look, they're a full-fledged candy company offering gummies. They got Kicks, which are their version of Starburst Chews, soft candies like caramel, and then hard candies as well. Highly recommend you go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130, that's right, 130 dispensaries across Arizona.
Let me just tell you some facts.
Tell me some facts.
Totri, you need a checking account.
I mean, that's a fact. Yeah.
Shane, you need a checking account. Bees, you need a checking account. Glenn, you need a checking account so you can sign up for that YouTube membership. William, M, Sharon, David, everybody here needs a checking account. And why not get a checking account that works for you? That's where Mountain America Credit Union comes into play with the My Style checking account with built-in benefits. You can enjoy benefits like restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and so much more. To the point that My Style becomes your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union, but you don't have to do any work to get that lifestyle. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply, insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration and activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and Glenn, become a member.
Glenn told you to shut up.
I don't care, Glenn. Listen.
Everyone's being mean to Rubens.
If there is one thing that I will never do,
to shut up.
It's shut up.
Yeah. How many words do you think you've said in your lifetime?
At least 8. I hate you. So here's a funny thing.
If I don't laugh, I'm gonna be
earlier today in the office, we were talking livestock, as we do.
Livestock, like cows,
pigs. Chickens, pigs.
Okay.
Those are the big 3. And we were guessing, how many are in the world. And so we're going around the room. It's me, it's Steven, it's Ayrton.
How many different types?
No,
of
like
livestock?
just a total.
Total livestock.
Okay, so let's ask a question. How many cows do you think there are in the world?
In the world?
In the world.
Wow. I mean, we're talking millions of cows, right? We have to be talking millions of cows?
Hundreds of millions of cows.
Well, I don't know if we're going hundreds of millions.
Yeah, hundreds of millions of cows.
I'm gonna say 25 million cows.
Yeah, hundreds of millions.
Yeah, it's 1.5 billion.
That's crazy.
Cows, bro?
Yeah.
Cows.
I mean, aren't there more cows in isn't there countries with more cows than people?
Denmark has a 100 and it's like a 3-to-1 ratio.
That's crazy.
Of cows. Maybe Denmark is pigs. Uruguay has the highest cow to human ratio.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Back to livestock.
Anyway, we're going around and I'm asking people their guesses, and Steven goes 7,000.
7,000
cows.
Total.
He wasn't serious. 7,000.
So what's the point of this?
Because he said, how many words have you said? And I said at least 8, and it reminded me of that.
So you're just exposing your co-host.
I'm bringing it up on Suns too.
Wow. It's nasty stuff.
7,000 words. But before we get back to football, curious from the chat and from everybody here, if you could know one stat at the end of your life, what's the one stat?
Dude,
like Myles walked. Deli Man, do you have one?
That's a great question.
Like how much? I always like the serial killer one. How many people have I walked by that have killed someone?
I was like,
That's fair.
How many people have I killed?
Yeah. No, I think that
maybe
how much skin have I snatched?
What?
Isn't that the nickname that you get?
Yeah, the skin snatcher.
You're weird, dude. I don't even know what you're saying.
Stop being mean.
Yeah, he's being very
bro.
mean.
This isn't like a stat, but just like the craziest butterfly effect that I caused. Like I sneezed and then somebody fell off a building or something.
What?
A lot of
butterfly effect.
Yeah.
You know what the butterfly effect is?
Yes. What would you say?
Well, you didn't know what Keep It Simple Stupid was, so
you're right. And did you ask everybody else?
I did not. I was dealing with other things.
Will says he wants to know how many times he almost
near death.
died.
Yeah, how many car crashes have you avoided? Barely. You ever think about you ever like forget something or you make a wrong turn
or
whatever?
Where things were. I've lost so many things in my life. Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Where is it?
Like it makes me feel like I'm going crazy.
Dude, some of those things you're like, I know I didn't get rid of that. Like I would never have thrown that away.
Raymond wants to know how much money he's come across in his.
I don't want to be depressed when I die. You know. I think near deaths is a great call.
I mean, that's a good stat.
How many 3-pointers have I made?
It's a good stat. Shane says he wants to know how many serial killers. Oh man,
how many total calories have I consumed in my entire life?
I feel like I'd want to know like a very, very surface level selfish, or not selfish, it's not the right word. Very conceited one, I guess. Of just like how many people did I like pass that thought I was attractive throughout my entire life?
That's such a you answer.
Throughout my entire life?
That's such a you
I'd love to know.
That's the most Totri thing I've ever heard.
I'd love to know. Would you not want to know that? Would you not want to know
probably
that?
Not.
Throughout your entire life, how many people
like
found you attractive?
8.
That would be sad, bro. That would be really sad.
Can you imagine it's just like error, NA.
Ooh, B says how many scams I've avoided? That's a good
one.
All right, well,
I don't know how often I'm coming across like avoiding scams.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's such
guys.
Dude, that's
Whatever,
such
man.
a you answer.
I don't even care. I'm standing.
How many people think I'm hot?
Okay, you phrased it like that. I did not.
Bro, that's literally what you said.
I did not phrase it like that.
That's literally what you said.
To say that you wouldn't want to know is objectively
if I get one question,
BS.
if I get one, it's the end of my life. I get one question. I'm not asking that. I'm not asking that.
Has Kenny Dillingham ever thought about
Probably
Absolutely
not.
Probably not.
Dude, he's been in the. We've had conversations with him. You've asked him questions at press conferences. He's definitely thought about you. For sure.
I'm not getting into this, bro. I'm not getting into this at all.
Shane, back me up here. Kenny's for sure.
Can we talk about football again?
Yeah, I was trying, and Rubus is...
You were trying. You're the one who posed the question.
I was, and I said, let's get through it, and we got through it, and now we can move back on to the Baylor Bears, the Baylor Buns.
Yeah.
Did you know that Sam Levitt's family...
is technically kind of a little bit from there?
Well, they lived in Waco.
Yeah.
His
brother was born there.
His brother, yeah.
But he's
never been to Waco.
He hates Dr. Pepper, no free house.
He was very, very particular with his words today, not wanting to give the Bears any bulletin
I think
board
this team
material.
has learned about saying anything about the local infrastructure of whoever they're playing.
Of opposing cities.
Yeah,
I think that's valid. And the homecoming game. That's gonna be
homecoming.
That's what it is, man. It's the homecoming game for Sam Levitt in Waco. Like we had already said, we're gonna get to the offense a little bit more tomorrow. I do want to spend a little bit of time before we wrap up today just on Bryson Washington in the ground game for this Baylor Bears offense, because of course Sawyer and these wideouts get a lot of love. Again, why wouldn't they? One of the best, most elite passing games through 3 games in the FBS right now. But like I said at the start of the show, Bryson Washington does indeed lead this conference in total rushing yards right now, a younger running back, probably the top back, like point blank period in the conference. Like not just stats. This is somebody that was very consistent and efficient last season when he got his opportunities. And then he has really, really accepted the role here in 2025 of being Baylor's lead back. I'm curious from your perspective, we talk so much of like, okay, let's make this team one-dimensional. And when we say one-dimensional, I feel like, are we saying that we want to make Baylor a run team? Or are we saying we want to make Baylor a team that'll beat you through the air? Like if you're gonna take away one,
okay. If you're gonna take away one,
are you gonna take away the conference's best passing attack, or second best passing attack,
okay,
or the best ground game?
If you're going to take away one, you're gonna want to take away the passing. Well, okay, this is tough because it's like your run defense and your defensive line has been the better unit.
Correct.
So it's like if we're just doing this as a pick one to be guaranteed and the other is, can still be successful, but it's not guaranteed, then you guarantee your secondary play because it has been your weaker unit. And then you let the pass rush be the pass rush and say, okay, you're nothing guaranteed. Go be you. You have a higher chance based off of what we've seen this season and who you're playing of success. I think you've got to limit the passing game because even though he has been the conference's top back, this is not the identity of this team. Now, I mean, this guy has speed. He's strong. He'll bowl people over. Like he doesn't really have like a weakness as a running back. That being said, the identity of this Baylor team that includes the top rusher in the Big 12 is undoubtedly throwing the ball. You ask anybody who's watched Baylor, anybody who's covered Big 12,
that's what they want to do.
Anything that looks at the box score, you say, what is this team's identity? It's throwing the football. And that is included with having a guy like Bryson Washington running it. That's why if you're going to let one player, have a great game and shut down one player, you want to shut down Sawyer, because that means this team is not playing like they're usually playing.
Yeah, that's 100% valid. Again, you're tasked with stopping a guy who rushed for over 1,000 yards last year as well, 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But nobody was really talking about Bryson Washington. Everyone was still talking about
It was a running
Sawyer,
back conference.
And everyone was talking about all the other running backs in this conference. A light comp for Bryson Washington for me, and I haven't watched every carry that he's had this season, but he reminds me a little bit of like the value of what Taj Brooks brought to Texas Tech
a little
last
bigger
year.
Though, yeah.
I don't know what Taj was listed at. I think Taj was a little bigger.
Big.
Taj was a little bigger. Bryson's listed at 6 foot 216.
Taj Brooks is 5'9", 220.
Yeah, 220.
He plays
he's big. I'm talking like
bulky.
Yeah, he's
weight wise, yeah. Like weight wise, they're pretty similar. They're pretty similar builds for the most part.
Well,
like
no,
5'9",
they're not similar.
6 foot.
That's a pretty big
5'8",
difference.
6 foot.
Stop it.
Like the same thing.
5'9", 2 what? 20 you said?
220.
And
220.
6 foot.
6 foot 216. That's an insanely different build.
It's similar play styles.
Yes. No. I'm piling on Ruby again.
Got you.
Yeah.
No, that's totally fair. Yeah.
He's big. He's taller.
The dumbest person.
He's
alive.
tall.
He's taller, but he's way
You
skinnier.
can follow the show at PHNX _
Nope, you still got 4 minutes.
Still got a
Nope,
few
I don't.
minutos.
You guys do.
Still got a few minutos here.
Sorry, I can't tell time. I'm so stupid.
Well, we're clipping that. That's getting.
Yeah,
that's 100% getting clipped.
Yeah, it's tough. That's
Bryson Washington is a special running back here, and I know there's going to be a lot of folks focused on Raleek Brown, and I think rightfully so, and maybe the potential return of Kyson and what Kanye brings. But don't sleep on Bryson here, especially given the fact that everyone's main focus when it comes to Baylor is Sawyer Robertson, those wideouts. And how many times a game they're going to throw it. But I think if Arizona State is going to win this game, you brought it up, you're going to have to make them one-dimensional. I think removing the run game is the easiest way to do it, given the prowess of this defensive line in the front seven and what they've already been able to accomplish so far this season. Although the run defense wasn't necessarily the greatest thing in the world against Texas State. It's not like Texas State ran all over them by any means. But it wasn't to the level that we've seen in the past from ASU, especially in the first couple games of the season. So I'd love for them to get back to that, seeing guys like a CJ Fight, Clayton Smith. Again, like I mentioned in the aerial attack and how you're going to defend Sawyer, like this defensive line and front seven are going to be so vastly important to what this defense is able to accomplish. And ultimately, like when it comes down to it, like if Arizona State is going to win this game, it's going to come down to the defense. Like I get it. Sure. Offense scores points, offense entertains, defense wins championships. And this Arizona State defense is going to have to be on their game if they're going to take down Baylor.
The one game that Baylor lost this season, not a small sample size, but the one game that they lost, how many points did they score?
24?
24 points. 48 points in week 2, 42 points in week 3.
Yeah, they pile on the points, man.
This is a team that can score. Now, the biggest difference in week 1 versus week 2 and 3 was the leading rusher. Same guy, totally different stats. 135 yards against Samford for Washington, 115 against SMU, 54 against Auburn, who has a great defensive line.
Yeah.
So maybe the answer is
it's run defense and getting to
take
Sawyer.
The running game out, because Sawyer 419, 440, then 211 against Samford.
That's how you beat him. That's how you beat Baylor. Is your D line has to feast.
It might
right?
It might just be shut down Bryson Washington.
It's shut down Bryson Washington and bring Sawyer down.
Hey,
that's what Auburn
both?
did, man.
How about both?
Or both.
Both?
We can agree on both, man.
Are we still married?
We never have been, never will be, man.
Well, that's not what we said at the beginning of yesterday.
You're already married, dude.
That's true. I got 2 hands. Put a ring on this one.
I don't share.
Just kidding. I don't share either.
I don't share.
I don't share meat.
I said it first, so you just kind of look like you're.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX.
Hey, Glenn donated some money to Big Brothers Big Sisters of America.
Let's go. Follow in Glenn's footsteps.
And become a member like Glenn's going to become a member.
So he has money for a good cause, but not to be our friends.
A great cause.
Glenn.
Great cause.
Glenn.
It's okay. Okay. Glenn. Man, I can't speak. It's okay.
Glenn.
It's okay. Glenn.
Clen, it's Clay.
If you enjoyed today's content, give the show a follow at PHNX _Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony _Totri. You can follow the stupidest person alive. Also my ex-husband, apparently. At Erik.
I don't like that
Ruby.
nickname.
That is Erik with a K. You can follow the Deli Man at Shane D.
Begging for support as always.
And we will see
3 more, we get a Sparky logo.
We will see you guys on Wednesday. In the meantime, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.